of bring it in.
Our next guest won earlier today at Homewood Field against a very good Johns Hopkins University Blue Jays program. Now they return home to beautiful Klockner Stadium to take on two more high-quality opponents. First, the Towson Tigers out of the CAA, and then the defending national champion, Maryland Terrapins, also the Big Ten, come calling in. So let's welcome in the head coach of the #1 ranked team in the country, the Virginia Cavaliers, and their coach, legendary Lars Tiffany. First of all, congratulations on your win against Johns Hopkins earlier today. I enjoyed watching that. But talk about what's it going to be like to have the defending national champion, Maryland Terrapins, come a-calling, because if you're a college lacrosse fan, it's one game you definitely want to tune into.
Well, first of all, Adam, thanks for having me on the show, and this is a lot of fun for me. But Adam, I can't take that bait. I can't eat that rat poison. We had Towson before that.
I know. I mean, I know, but
I know the lacrosse fans they can look ahead, but us coaches can't. So
right.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Cool.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thanks for coming on. This is a honor to have the top. We never had a top-ranked team on our show, so I feel like this is Alabama for us. So this is maybe close to Alabama. So, how tough is it to stay #1 during this whole season? This is like your 4th week being #1, and last week you just annihilated Richmond last weekend. You just run into Richmond, and I think you did better than the Civil War. Just took them out. Yeah. And then today you went to Hopkins, so you had a quick turnaround. So how did you get your players focused on a quick turnaround? Because you played Saturday, back to Charlottesville, get on a bus, drive back to Maryland, and you're up here tonight. Because you don't want to drive back. You're probably driving back tomorrow, right?
Right, we're going to drive back tomorrow. We're going to do some what we call career networking in market.
Okay.
So we've got some alums tomorrow morning here in Baltimore, Virginia lacrosse alums. We're going to talk about their professions, the finance industry, law, commercial real estate, and then we're actually going to the Secret Service campus, their training grounds, tomorrow afternoon in Laurel, Maryland. Another Virginia lacrosse alum is a Secret Service agent, and he's invited us there for 3 hours. So we're taking full advantage while we're up here in Maryland and squeezing a lot out of our alumni.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be it's a quick turnaround, but it's a quick turnaround too for Hopkins. They had a nice win over St. Joe's on Saturday, and so they had to bounce back quickly, and now they got to get ready for a very talented Syracuse Orangemen team too. Like, we've got to get ready for Towson. So I'm really happy with the way our offense played today against Hopkins, and despite being down a couple guys due to injuries, our defense, we've got to be better with a short interim between games with the scouting report, and we didn't do that today. We're used to having a week, but sometimes you don't get a week. Sometimes you play in an ACC tournament game, or maybe hopefully an SFA tournament game where there's not a lot of downtime in between. And we didn't step up today. We got to be better understanding matchups, understanding personnel, opponents' strengths. But yeah, I'm really happy with our offense today. Sean Kerwin, fantastic job as our offense coordinator, putting the guys in the right places. And so, yeah, erupting for 18 goals is a big deal, especially without Peyton Cormier.
Yeah. Just talking about playing against Hopkins, it seems like Hopkins, people don't realize Johns Hopkins were very known for lacrosse. They're not known for basketball. They know about football pretty much. But for you guys, for lacrosse, and they're very good every year. And they used to have Dave Petramalo was the head coach. Now he's up in Syracuse, helping out, up there. So it's a different type of Hopkins squad that you've seen over the years.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a better team than we played against last year. Hopkins came down to Charlottesville a year ago, and we jumped on them early and kept them down. This team today, Pete Milliman and his crew, they kept fighting back. They wouldn't let us pull away, and so I think it's a Hopkins program that, of course, has the greatest history in college lacrosse. The most storied history, all those national championships. And they've hit some bumps in the road in the last couple of years, but this team's better. I mean, that's a big win they have over Georgetown, and then St. Joe's on Saturday. So it's they're doing a nice job of that with what they've got, and I think the future's bright for Hopkins.
Yeah, it's almost like, if you think Hopkins lacrosse, it's like almost like in college basketball. It's like Duke Blue Devils. In college basketball, they're always there this time of year, always doing well. They got a good coach and all that stuff. And for lacrosse, if Hopkins is not in there, there's something going on in lacrosse, and probably just new blood, or I guess Hopkins needs to get in the game.
You're right. I mean, it's for so many years, you kind of could almost predict the Final Four. In the 70s and 80s, you kind of knew there were 6 or 7 teams who could be in the Final Four. Mm-hmm. As you well know, that's not the case anymore. There's you can make an argument for 12 to 15 teams being in the Final Four, and maybe more some years when there's even more parity. And it's just become more of a challenge for recruiting and getting the best players. When there's only 12.6 scholarships per program, and you have 45 men on the team, maybe 50. That's a big difference. Whereas college football, most of the guys are on full rides. In college basketball, the men's and women's, most of the teams on full rides. Virginia and Maryland can't just buy every good player. We've got to be very cost conscious with a budget, and it allows other teams to step in. So Hopkins is they're having those same battles in recruiting. It's they think they have somebody, and then all of a sudden some other school comes along and makes it just a better offer. And so it's a tough world out there. There's no question with recruiting. And but Hopkins, with their tradition and history, in the Cordish Center, in the end zone there, the band playing every game, it's a great option for recruits.
And you got a question for Coach?
Yeah. Now, tell viewers why they should watch ACC college lacrosse in general, because there's so many good teams, and every year it seems like 4 or 5 teams like you guys always advance to the NCAA tournament. And I think you guys are good. And I think you guys are one of my teams that could bring home a national championship this year.
But I appreciate that vote of confidence.
Thank you. Thank you.
We certainly got to play better defense and be better in the goal than we were today. But when I look at the parts, the key parts, you talk about team and the camaraderie and the energy. We've got those, but it's like who the men making these plays. Well, it starts with Petey LaSalle at the faceoff backs. He was exceptional today. He can score goals himself. He gave us possession 2/3 of the time, if not more, today, and that's such a big boost. And then Connor Schellenberger being our quarterback, letting the game come to him. He doesn't force things. He allows the game to happen he doesn't need 4 or 5 goals himself. He's happy to be the quarterback, and he's doing a fantastic job running the show there. And then, it's kind of fun to see who's going to step up, each game. Xander Dixon has 6 goals again today. Yeah. Patrick McIntosh, who's been a reserve for us, steps in due to an injured Peyton Cormier, and he scores 6. Griffin Schutz exploded today out of the midfield with 4 goals. So it's I'm very fortunate and very blessed to be able to coach the team in Charlottesville, to have UVA as an academic background, that people want to get this education. So it's not that hard. Mm-hmm. I know recruiting's a difficult world, but I'm blessed to have an incredible product, the UVA degree, and our own storied history here, with great lacrosse players and great teams and great coaches.
Exactly. I got to ask you about a great coach in Kip Turner. Our station used to do Bayhawks lacrosse, and a shout out to Jarrett Welsh and everybody out there who's helping us out. And I saw Kip a lot being goalie at the Bayhawks. So, but he's on your roster as a coach. What does he bring to your coaching staff? He helps out the goalies, right?
I love that you asked about Kip. Kip was the starting goalie in the 2006 National Championship undefeated Virginia Cavaliers team, and he's been with me personally for 13 years. The first 6, we were in Providence together. And when I was coaching at Brown, he was an assistant coach with me there. And then he and Sean Kerwin joined me as in Charlottesville. So we've been together, Kip and I, for 13 years. Kip he's kind of a rarity in that he does both of the specialty positions, lacrosse for the face-off and the goalie play. You feel a little, I probably shouldn't say, but you feel a little naked as a coach if you don't have someone on your staff who can focus on those two specialties. Kip does them both. He was a fantastic goalie, as you noted, played in the professional leagues as himself, but he's become a really talented face-off coach as well. So Kip does so much for us. He doesn't have the coordinator title, like offense or defense, but he's so valuable. And recruiting, he crushes it. Everyone loves Kip. Kip's got a way about him, a gentleness, a demeanor, and he's our secret weapon in recruiting.
That's cool. Adam, you get the last question. Go ahead.
Yeah. Earlier this year, you started off your season playing another Big Ten team, the Michigan Wolverines. So tell us what it's like to play teams from the Big Ten in your non-conference schedule this year.
I know. We could almost become an honorary member.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
You should.
I know.
Yeah.
As you were pointing out, we were playing somebody after Towson, who's also a Big Ten opponent, and so we'll. I hadn't thought about that way, but I guess in our first half of the season, we'll play 4 of the 6 Big Ten teams. It's an exceptional conference and really well coached, athletic and physical, like big. Like we saw that in Michigan, and then we saw it even more so against Ohio State. They were bigger than us, and we're big, and they were strong. And so it's a really talented league, and we upped our schedule. We when it's a rarity for the ACC only get one team in the NCAA tournament, but obviously that's what happened in 2022. Mm-hmm. And so in the off season, we talked about as a staff, saying maybe we stepped this up. So we added Ohio State, added Michigan, we understand the strength of Big Ten lacrosse, and it's just those teams push each other, and Maryland's been the gold standard. And it's elevated the entire league.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, thanks so much for coming on tonight. I know you want to relax. You got a big win today. You want to get ready to talk to your alumni tomorrow here in Baltimore, and enjoy your day here, and enjoy that trip down to the Secret Service thing, and be very quiet about that. We don't want to, government issues here. I don't want to get a phone call later going, "Did you say something on the air?" I don't know.
That's really funny. That's really funny. Yeah, it's going to be a fun day tomorrow. Spending time with our alums and just getting our men thinking about what is the next step. What's it's an incredible 4 or 5 years that we now get to enjoy of being at UVA and playing lacrosse and being with our teammates. But just always thinking like, what does our future look like? And so our alumni do an amazing effort with putting different ideas and different opportunities in front of our men.
Exactly. Well, if you're down in the Charlotte area on Saturday at 4 o'clock, Towson taking on Virginia, so it's going to be a great matchup. And if you want to go see some great lacrosse, go down there and spend some time in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia.
I appreciate that promo. Come on down. We'd love to have you.
All right, Coach. Have a safe trip back home, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thanks, guys. Love the product.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See you, sir. Bye. All right, that's the coach from the top-ranked team in the country. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's like my version of Alabama, Crimson Tide. With I would love to get Nick Saban on our program one day, folks. Just for fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
having the coach of the #1 ranked team in men's college lacrosse, and Chris is called. I always like watching men's college lacrosse, and to me, Virginia right now is a team that is called. If they continue this hot streak, against Towson and then Maryland.